Hello everyone and welcome back to ESA Summer Online 2020. We are raising money for our summer fun. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We'd also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now it's time for Flying Fox with the game Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited and Joey Baby as the commentator. Take it away.
Alright, what's up everyone? As he just said, we have Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited, which is a modified version of the original Sonic 3 with some quality of life improvements. A few being like widescreen support, a lot of customizable options like changing the music of your liking. But yeah, here we have Sonic Flying Fox, world record holder of Knuckles and Tails New Game Plus Glitchless. Quite the mouthful.
Yeah.
So she'll have all the emeralds at her disposal, and so yeah, no blue spheres. But I think Big John had you covered last run, so I think you guys are good. With that, I guess I'll count down for you, Fox.
Yes, please.
All right, cool. All right, so count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Thank you.
But yeah, like I said before, a lot of differences between the original and Air. A lot of quality of life improvements, but the biggest difference is that they added the option to have Knuckles paired up with Tails, which is not doable in the original version. And pretty much it's just, it gives Knuckles a lot more options to, you know, do a little bit of route changes that he couldn't do normally with the nerf jump he has in this game. That's pretty cool. But yeah, having Tails will help Fox maneuver certain areas that normally it would be troubling. I guess another thing is that in the original version, you couldn't even use Tails to grab your primary character. So that's another thing they added, which I guess they added because of Mania having that option as well. That's a solid Act 1. And also, I must mention that they also added the ability to skip score tallies, and you have additional options going into the pause select. Now, if you remember from the original, if you pause the game, you don't have much options other than just repausing. But you have the ability to just restart the level from checkpoint or restart in general. So in situations like that, where what Flying Fox just did was reset at the beginning of Act 2, and it just basically puts the cycles at a consistent spot where she can just always run over the platform at the very start. But yeah, not much going on here. Angel Island is not much different from the original. Knuckles has his own designated paths that's already in the original version, where the game just gives Knuckles a little fresh adventure where Tails doesn't, Sonic or Tails normally takes. So it's a nice differentiation between the two. And also, you just seen Fox pop Super, but like I said before, she has access to Super at the very start of the game. So pretty much the idea here is so she can make sure she gets 50 rings by the start, and then just keep Super for most of the way through. And you can see just now that Tails was useful for hitting the capsule much earlier than it coming down. Now we're going to Hydro City. I'm sorry, that's what I'm going to call it. Knuckles has an ability where he can glide, as you've seen a few times during Angel Island. And bouncing on a monitor and immediately going into glide, you can get more height than normal. And that'll be used around the course of the run. So you can see Fox going for the top route. It's much more faster than having to deal with the water from below. I'm gonna give Fox some time here because she's gonna go for she's gonna need an audio cue for an optimal boss fight.
No, I messed it up.
Yeah, you're able to get 4 hits at the very start, and basically she's listening to the boss music and just timing when to just spin dash upwards. Oh yeah, the boss can be really annoying. She's gonna do another restart from checkpoint, and yeah, I might have mentioned this already, but this does skips usual long transitions, and she's going to try to catch a cycle here at the end of this water area. And if she can get it, then she can save a bit of time. Very good. But yeah, so there's a lot of cutscenes that normally just plays out normally. But having the actual options to skip cutscenes by just pressing start and just going back from the start of the level back to, it just makes it much faster. And also, what Flying Fox just did there is glide over parts of the level. You're supposed to kind of run around the level and get to that area in another way by going down the water. But she was able to just glide over it, skips a good portion level. And this is a really tight glide she has to do. She has to glide on the peak of her jump and land on the wall above. But Tails is being in the way.
Oh my god, Tails.
But as every other game that Tails is included, he is an absolute troll, as you can clearly see. Oh yeah, and then Fox is doing another skip by just hovering, flying over most of the level. And in that end section there, based on when you get there, the cycles can be in your way. The little cylinders can go from left to right, and they kind of alternate. And if you get there at the wrong time, the right side can be completely blocked, and there's nothing you can really do about it. But thankfully, it wasn't much of an issue. But yeah, Knuckles has his own route where he just goes upwards. And of course, Super being useful for not being able to get hit by trucks there. Also, that was an interesting Tails.
I couldn't swing dash for some reason.
And you can see Tails being useful for this boss fight too. And according to Wikipedia, this is called Water Spout and Depth Charge Machine. That's a long boss name that gets destroyed in like 5 seconds. Clearly not a lot of work was done to have good durability. But that is Hydro 2.
Okay, I can relax now.
Yeah, now it's like pretty smooth sailing here. Margot, not much going to it. She will have Lightning Shield, and it'll make grabbing rings really easily. She's gonna turn Super just really soon, and she's gonna use that speed off the spin dash to jump upwards and take a little shortcut by just having Knuckles just glide up there, or climb rather. But yeah, pretty straightforward level. It's much faster if you can get up there. But yeah, with Super, for most characters, I mean Sonic and Tails, they do get a bit of additional jump height off of Super, but Knuckles doesn't really get that luxury, so he has to still maneuver with like gliding and climbing upwards if he needs to reach certain areas, and that's where Tails could be really useful. Going into this boss fight, we've come to really realize how awful his jump height is. They designed this boss for Knuckles to have to wait for a slow spiked cylinder coming from the ground to actually reach the boss, but we don't have to do that if you can get Tails to have you grab up to the top area and just bounce on him. And it makes it much easier when you have a Super, which is pretty good. Now for Act 2, she's gonna, of course, take top route. There's these springs. There's these spikes that are actually enemies, but you can bounce off them. And you're gonna utilize another glide to get some height to reach a wall upwards. And I can't emphasize enough how horrible jump height is, so it just makes it nice to take advantage of for those kind of things. Gonna use the blue top to take the top route up there. Ooh, yeah, it's like I said before, like Lightning Shield just helps a lot. Not just for keeping your rings, but of course, you know, grabbing rings as you go. And the biggest like worry is to be low on rings when you kind of route out having the rings or the super at a certain point in time. But luckily, she will get super by the time that, you know, things get a little difficult. But yeah, good on Fox for keeping those rings.
Thanks. I don't know what happened there.
Now, Fox is gonna come into an area where she has to hit the forehead of this like Stonehenge guy, whatever. Knuckles can't hit him at all, but using Tails as jump height, Knuckles can kind of have Tails do all the damage for him. Normally, Knuckles has to take a slightly alternate route, but yeah, with Tails on her side, it'll just be much more easier. Now, this is kind of I wouldn't say it's an auto-scroller section. Everything is just crumbling down, and you have to wait out for something for the floor to rise up. But having Tails on your side, you can speed up a little bit by the end section here. And
Seriously, Tails.
there we go.
This is why I hate this category now.
If he was useful, then yeah, Knuckles will be able to get up there. But now Fox is wanting to get 7 hits on this fight. Little trouble here, but she got a couple there.
No, Tails messed it up for me because he didn't come earlier for some reason. When he's supposed to.
Now, it's impossible to get all the hits or kill the boss on that beginning part. He's always going to be capped out at 1 health left if you manage to get 7 hits or more. But clean fight regardless, and yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, for some reason he's supposed to spawn as soon as you enter the boss room, but he didn't for some reason. And I don't know why. He's never done that before.
Now going to Carnival Night, and you can see Fox once again going for the pause reset strat. And there's a long corridor, like long way she's going. She's gonna hope not to get trolled by the slope here, and good stuff. Nice slowdown.
Yeah.
Just make sure to not have to like land on it. Yeah, so like Suck Pixels is really fun. Even if you do things like relatively the same way you did it as like other attempts, things may be different just based on Suck Pixels alone. And that's really annoying. Fox getting hit here, but it's not the biggest deal. The boss is coming up really soon, and Super doesn't really help with the boss at all anyways. It probably just be faster, but it doesn't really change how the fight is done. So we have Robot, whatever. Hold on, let me pull the Wikipedia again. I'm interested in these names. I looked at it for like 5 seconds. Self-destruct machine. Yeah, so you hit him, exposes a weak point, and the topper hits that weak point. Yeah, something like that. 4 hits, and yeah, it's down. Pretty self-explanatory. There's some really weird names with these bosses. Now going to Cardinal 2, she's gonna slow down during this section. She's gonna slow down and take the bottom route here. It's a more straightforward path, and a path that Knuckles can definitely take. There is gonna be some really awkward bumper cycles, but it's probably one of the more straightforward stages. And it's actually the only stage, or you know, excluding Hidden Palace, that doesn't have a boss fight. Or you can choose to do the boss, but there's a capsule kind of in your way once you take this route, and yeah, you don't have to really do a fight, which is pretty nice.
I don't know if going hyper... Okay. Going hyper here makes it go faster, I just do it anyway.
Yeah, it seems like the speed boosters does most of the speed for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is that's Carnival Night. Yeah, it's actually one of the more straightforward stages, and mostly other categories maybe kind of pretty much a toughie. Going to Ice Cap, it's gonna be one of the few levels where ring management doesn't mean all that much, because there's a big ring right on the right before you take the plunge below. And Knuckles being able to break the ice without having to use the little ice platform is pretty beneficial. And Super pretty much making it easier to just get through like the section just right there where all the spikes. So it's just taking the route and not having to worry about any damage in your way is makes it really straightforward. Just take the downwards path. And Ice Cap is also a very short stage. See, Knuckles just about to get to the boss here. And Tails being useful once more. Getting the hits just before this ice guy summons a little like ice ball thing, something like that. But yeah, pretty simple boss fight. And yeah, I also forgot to mention, at the end of Act 1s, there's always a signpost that falls down after the boss is defeated. There's predetermined spots of where these modders actually appear. So pretty much at the end of Act 1 of Ice Cap, if you're always killing the boss before it moves from its first location, it will always have a ring boss at its location. Which is pretty helpful for that spot because she doesn't have to go look hunting for 10 extra rings. Tails,
please. Oh,
trying to get the height off that, and Tails is kind of like messing up the flow. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
This is also a soft pixel heavy stage too.
He's just doing everything to ruin the run.
Don't worry, he'll mess it up in other ways.
Oh no!
But hopefully less painful though.
He's never been this bad before.
He's out for blood.
Oh
I guess,
my god!
I can see the nice Tails emotes.
I'll have to check that later.
At least he's helping with the boss fights slightly, so Tails being
Yeah.
useful to get up here much more quickly than having I guess it's not really robotic, but it's little egg robo descending the platform downward so Knuckles can grab it, well, land on it, but just having Tails would make it much faster.
I'm sorry. Oh. I can't. Oh dear.
So coming to launch phase, another easy ring here, so no ring managements required, which is really nice. Just taking the designated path, taking this elevator and going upwards. There's gonna be a red spring later on, middle of the level, where she's gonna jump and take a path upwards, and it skips a lot of the level, which is really nice. Yeah, climb being really useful. Now, if this was not super, it's actually one of the few stages that can really go wrong when things go wrong. So yeah, that's the jump there. It's really nice to see. Most people casually will just roll down, but that red spring is pretty nice. Now around the end of the stage, there are these awfully placed spike crushers where they just have like a moving spike just landing on another spike, and you just happen to glide or jump over them at the wrong time. That could be really bad. The only one that's really risky would be the second and third ones, because they actually drop much faster than the first one. Other than that, she's heading towards the end here. She's gonna climb up the wall. Sonic and Tails would have a different path to go to, and the boss fight will just be different entering it. And we've come to the boss. So Tails or Sonic fights normally one of these guys. Flying Fox's gonna have to deal with two of them, which, it's not really a big deal, because Super is really nice to have. As Tails is getting humbled as she's going, which is a sight to see. You gotta love those.
I don't know if he's actually helpful for that boss, because when he hits it, it goes higher.
Yeah, maybe it's helpful if it was like the second to last hit, so you don't have to worry about it like
Maybe,
getting it
yeah.
later. But other than that, it's not like So yeah, a lot of rams and speed boosters in this stage. It's a really nice stage when it goes well. Everything just goes really fast. Will be a big ring opportunity much later. But yeah, taking the top path, getting the optimal jumps off like most of these ramps is pretty crucial. But luckily, is another stage where a big ring can just be taken, so you don't have to worry about ring management here as well. This is also a stage that has a lot of water, and I believe this is the final stage, the final zone that even has water in general. The Sonic and Knuckles portion has no water entirely, which is really crazy. But yeah, with Super, just gotta make sure to get optimal speed off the ramps. She's gonna take a jump off a slope to take a top route later. And if you're doing some sort of action as the water's rising, it can kind of interrupt you slightly. Nice jump. So you don't have to take the little moving platform thing where you ride on it. Fox going into this boss fight here, or almost there. There we go. So there's 3 phases in this fight. Normally Sonic and Tails fights one. But yeah, Knuckles can just sit on the very corner there and not have to worry about mostly anything. Now we have a Big Arm. I'm pretty sure Super can still get grabbed and then waste his time. I'm not entirely sure. Can Super still get grabbed?
Yeah, but I'm hyper, so it's fine.
Okay. So yeah, just eight hits on the boss as far as I'm aware. So pretty straightforward. I'm really surprised that like this boss wasn't even for Sonic or Tails, like for SNK. Only in Sonic 3, which is kind of unfortunate. But at least it's in the game at all. But just for Knuckles though. Going for the last hit, nice. And Tails, being a bro, getting this capsule much more quickly. Now we've ended the Sonic 3 portion. Now we're going to the Knuckles portion. And a quick exit because that cutscene takes forever. Going from Launch Base and Mushroom Hill. I think it's like 15-20 seconds. I think Knuckles is a little faster though. But yeah, another big ring at the start. So this stage as well, Knuckles has his own route where he starts in a different location than Sonic and Tails does. But bottom route sucks, so she's gonna try to get up there as quick as she can by just getting speed off the red spring there. And getting right up there. Taking the climb to go even higher. It's a lot of like spikes and butterflies are just in the way, but you know, don't have to worry about that with Super.
So, if you've got time for a short donation.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yep.
Well, we received a $20 anonymous donation. Please, guys, if you donate, make sure to check the bids and incentives side. There's different bid wars and incentives going on for different games. For example, the incentive for Skies of Arcadia Legends, Fight the Imposters, where Penguin will pick up a different gun for the rest of the run. There's only $75 missing to complete this incentive. I know you guys can do it, and every dollar counts. Thank you guys so much.
So at the beginning of Mushroom 2, there are spikes everywhere. But there is a big ring a little after that, so thankfully there is, because it would be a pretty hell stage if you have to worry about ring managing with all the spikes littered in this level, especially with the little Cluck over there. It's kind of guarding his post.
I don't know what's going on there.
Taking top route up here. Gonna get herself a hefty big ring. Might as well get some invincibility as she goes. And also, another thing, it'll be more prominent in the later stages, but this is the first example of it. Many locations where that normally takes a long time to take, like the pulleys in Mushroom Hill, and later on the little levers in Sanopolis that opens the doors, they sped them up much faster, so you don't have to waste a lot of time doing sections like those, which is really nice. But this is Egg Robo's a runaway scene, but Flying Fox can get like 6 easy hits at the very start and just get 2 much later. But yeah, this is New Game Plus. All emeralds are already acquired, so having supered after every 50 rings will be doable, or hyper rather. But another cutscene skip there, because that cutscene is, oh, you guessed it, really long, pretty bad. So Flying Battery, so really scary beginning section here, because you want to make sure he doesn't fall to the death plane, but Glide makes it like not an issue at all. But just make sure to just keep the rings at her disposal, because she's gonna get super by the end of this section. Now this level is also incredibly cycle heavy. So the crush deaths are a big thing to keep in mind, just to make sure that nothing really bad happens, because that'd be terrible to just lose your ring progress. But yeah, starting at this location here, this is where cycles are a big deal. So that area right there, you can end up trying to jump over them or trying to spin dash under them, and they come up or down at the wrong point. Yeah, that's a dead knuckle. That's a dead echidna. But thankfully, he doesn't have to worry about that. Now these missiles are also in cycle, but they're not the biggest issue. Going to this boss, we do have some time for another donation. This is quite a long one.
I'd rather talk about Alzheimer's Fountain right now. Because Alzheimer's Fountain's aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. Yearly, Alzheimer's Fountain Science Council and Board of Directors grant scientists and projects around 30 million Swedish kron. They enable trainings for caregivers of the subject of dementia, and organize projects, camps, and events for youngsters affected in different ways due to parents or other relatives diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Thank you. Keep those donations coming, fellas. Yeah, Flying Fox is a record holder for a reason. And now, here we got Flying Battery. Lightning Shield from Act 1. Don't have to throw it out. Having to like look for rings, they kind of just gradually come to you, which is really nice. There's one thing I really like about Mania Flying Battery is that they don't have these anymore. These little cycles that you just have to wait out, I really don't like them. But alas, that's something you have to worry about. Or just wait it out, honestly. And the same thing as Flying Battery 1. Crush deaths are a worry, but I'm sure Fox has most of the cycles down to a T. And yeah, popping super. Good grabs of rings, especially with the help of Lightning Shield much early on. Now, a lot of these areas, like, you can't accident, so you have to like press these buttons. And that one right there, it doesn't look like a button, but yeah, you have to press the top of that like flame shooter to open the door below. Which is an absolute pain if you don't have super to begin with, or a fire shield with Knuckles. But going downwards here.
Not risking it.
Yeah, she could save a little time going over that, but let's not risk it, especially since death could happen, and there's not much you can do about it. So we have laser boss fight, except not really, because you're just kind of playing a waiting game, so nothing's going on. This is a level that you could skip with the original, but unfortunately, yeah, you just have to kind of stare him down until Egg Robo breaks his machine himself. Knuckles does have special moves akin to gliding and wall climbing. That's something that he can only do. And now Egg Robo has noticed the damage he's done, and now gotta wait out a climbing section. Oh yeah, a little hidey hole, by the way. That wall looks very solid, but it's actually like has a small little opening there with no collision. Tail just wants to help. Tail just wants to feel useful.
Well, he can disappear for all I care. There we go.
He just wants to have a moment.
No.
Tails can disappear into the ether. Did you know? Now, going to Sanopolis, he's gonna immediately try to go to top route. And this is another level that, like, slopes are really, really bad and subpixels really get in your way.
Ice. Anything
yeah,
that can
yeah,
go
I love
wrong
those.
has gone wrong.
Oh yeah, this is another very cycle-heavy stage. It's one thing for still these cycles could be in your way, but they're also like layered with spikes on top. So even if you could make that cycle, you don't want to risk it because you don't want to just lose your rings because you think you can. So you kind of just have to respect it. Afterwards, gonna get some rings upwards, taking a top route. Gonna climb upwards. That, ooh, okay. Well, that's fine. Oh yeah, the sand doesn't really kill you unless you like go to the very bottom. And I'm pretty sure that like there's nothing that's gonna kill you down there anyways. But yeah, it looks like you can get crushed by that. But yeah, she's totally fine. I got super, but did you know you can actually cancel it in air? You have the ability to just cancel your super in air, which is really nice because you would just rapidly lose your rings in this fight anyways, which is kind of less of a fight. It's more like a stare down. As far as I know, yes, so they did sped up this fight as well, so it takes a few extra steps to actually have him land to the sand into his doom. But there he goes. Quite the boss fight. I was almost sweating a little bit. Now, in this particular version of the game, going to skip Act 2 there. Well, do the skip, go into Act 2. But you can actually skip Act 2 in certain versions of the game for air, which pretty much you play out Sanopolis 1 all over again. And it's faster to do Act 1 than Act 2 the normal way. Or at least for Knuckles. I believe it's faster for Sonic and Tails. Or at least for Sonic. But yeah, with these levers, you can open these doors to open up areas that you couldn't normally. Unfortunately, Fox couldn't get the lightning shield, but it's not the biggest deal. Just have to get the rings in another way. But this is a stage that its main gimmick is sand. So there is going to be an area in the middle of the stage where, and also the ghost as well, when you don't pull the little lever, or the pulley that brings up the light, the ghost does get bigger and bigger, and they start attacking Knuckles. But once the light is actually in the stage, they go away. But the biggest thing is that by the middle of the level, you're supposed to raise sand to bring up the floor so you can take the top route, or you can be risen to the top route. But with Knuckles, all he can do is just climb up, and he doesn't have to worry about building up the sand. And it's just much, much faster. The super just helps a great deal. Now, there's a section that's even better because Tails will just help get Knuckles up there. But yeah, you see these ghosts trying their hardest, doing some sort of damage to Knuckles. But yeah, Hyper, yeah, he doesn't really care. Now, as most of the run was, there are alternative paths for Knuckles, and there's going to be one coming up just in a bit. One of the few things I really appreciate for this game, that, you know, giving a lot of different ways to play the game, especially for a different character. We're coming up to the end. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Swing Dash that way.
Yeah, if you're going really fast, sometimes you may just be looking the wrong way and you guys just careen the wrong direction. Something that could be a little annoying. But yeah, going up here, gonna be approaching the boss really soon. The boss is indestructible until you hit him once, and then his weak point is exposed. So not really. But you hit the head of this little golem thing, and all you can do is just stay on top of him. There you go. Now, Lava Reef One, there's 201 things that can hit you, and there aren't exactly big rings that could just be get in the way. So, rule of thumb, yeah, don't get hit. There's a lot of things in the way. There is like a good chunk of rings much later on the level, but just want to make sure to just collect as much as she can, so she doesn't have to worry about losing a good amount of them. And also, considering she is playing Knuckles, this is like the last true zone of the game. Knuckles does not normally do Death Egg, which that's only Sonic and Tails exclusive. So this will be the last main zone in the game.
I don't know how I not got hit there.
Oh my god. It's oh, you're so good. Alright. I don't know how, I looked really close. Oh yeah, that button there, that crusher will immediately come down, so she would have to hit that button really quick. But yeah, this is the area with a bunch of rings, but I suppose once you get the flame shield, it's much more safer. Yeah, just making sure it doesn't take too much damage there. All she has to do is just go upwards, and then she'll go back to the route where Sonic normally ends up in. Open the door, and then go below, and we'll go into the... I don't know what this is, really. Is this like a robot under the lava? You only see its, like, tentacles and hands. I don't know what this is.
No idea.
But yeah, you hit 4 hits on each of these little balls in the... balls, I guess? I don't know what you want to call that. And 6 hits on the hands. And once the tentacle goes high up, Knuckles can't even reach, but Tails still can though, so at least that's helpful. Play it hand down, and you can see going into Lava Reef 2. Now that flame shield that she has right now, really important. Well, she will get one later because she's gonna do a quick restart just to get to this location much faster. but she's gonna take the bottom route, and she's gonna go out of her way to get a whoa, that block cycle. She's gonna go out of her way to get a fire shield because there's a lot of flame shooters, especially where she climbs, to get through this portion of the level. Wow, you're dancing with death, and you're unfazed.
Well, I've been practicing a lot, so I kind of know if it's gonna go alright or not.
Heck yeah. Yeah, this is the location. You'd have to play the ultimate waiting game if you don't have Flame Shield. If you're trying to harvest your your rings. You already got all the emeralds. But yeah, getting the 50 rings here, and it's really hard if you don't have Fire Shield. But once she's coming down here, she's gonna get her rings on this little like ramp area, and play with the ramp a little there. Just having a little fun. That's all good. We're all here to have fun. Now she got super, and like there's also a lot of cycles with the blocks. So if you're a little slow on the mark, you do have to play a little waiting game with them. But all in all, it's a pretty straightforward stage. And Tails being useful there, just getting up there much more conveniently. Take a glide upwards, and she's gonna be heading to Hidden Palace, which, according to my notes, hardest stage in the game. It's don't blink. It's really intense. You might want to be in the edge of your seat, but yeah. Oh, Fox, how'd you do that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's hype in the chat material right there. Now, so Sky Sanctuary, this is the last stage of the game. All Knuckles cares about is his emerald. So Mecha Sonic is causing some sort of ruckus, and now she's gonna have the final showdown. The optimal boss pattern is a 2-4-2. She's gonna go for the 3 hits at the end section there. And now he is really angry, and now he's gonna take the power of the Master Emerald. As menacing as his looks, he's kind of wait on the right, and just watch him do his thing. So this boss is RNG. He can either shoot some projectiles or nosedive towards you. Now, funny thing about this version of the game, with 16:9, its nosedive will never hit you if you stand on the far right, because the game is designed to only take you so far to the right side. So if you stand on the right, at all, he will never hit you, which is pretty funny. That is death to the boss, and it's time when it fades to white.
Time.
That's time. GG's.
Oh, thank you.
Great one, and great commentary, Joey.
Thank you, thank you. That's a 41. That's a good run. Heck yeah.
What was that, 41?
Yeah, 41-43.
Well, I mean, Tails was being very, yeah, and Subpixels weren't being nice, but oh well.
Yeah. When is it ever though? But yeah, yeah, I just want to say that, yeah, so this game has been really getting a surge of interest. Sonic 3 Air, if you ever had interest in running Sonic 3 and Knuckles, give this game a try. It's more accessible. You can customize it at your will, and yeah, there's a lot of quality of life changes that just makes it a really fun speed game. It's really enjoyable.
Okay, so thanks for the great run, and thanks for the commentary. We will be back after short intermission with 102 Dalmatians with Tesserae. So stay tuned.